Paul79 here, hope you're safe and well. I hope you all had good weeks. It's been about 3 weeks since we last spoke, but it's Friday night, I'm feeling alright, but I'm home alone tonight. I feel a bit like Macaulay Culkin. So basically my 3 girls, the BMW, beautiful amazing wife and my 2 beautiful daughters, they've gone out to the local pub to a Michael Jackson tribute night. I wasn't allowed to go, which was a bit bad, but they are all really excited, especially the girls, you know, my daughters, they're all getting all done up, dressed up and all that. Oh, they're such pretty young things. As for me, I'll probably watch the football in a bit. It's Man City versus Arsenal in the FA Cup. That's bound to be a thriller. But first, what I thought I would do, I'd explain to you in black and white what I've been doing on the car this week. I know I've done those time-lapse videos, and I've put some notes in there, but you know, I wanted to sort of go through in detail what I've done. You know, I've had 5 days off work, and I spent a good 4 days when I add it all up, working on the interior. I mean, I haven't done much to the inside of the car at all since I started it, but you know, I wanted to be starting something new. So, you know, there you go. It wasn't particularly dangerous, you know, but it was a lot of hard work. You know, there are a few points along the way where I got in a bit of a jam, and there were some points where I really wanted to scream. You know, my beautiful, amazing wife was a bit concerned with the old noise I was making, but you know, I said to her, I said, you just need to leave me alone and I'll work it out for myself. You know, it's just human nature, isn't it? I am tired though. It does feel like I've been working sort of day and night, but you know me, I don't stop till I get enough of it done. But that's it. My time off work has gone too soon, but you know me, I just love working on the car. You can't beat it. Sorry. Couple of shout outs before we get onto the car stuff. Big shout out to my very good friends at work. We've got Chrissy and Julia. You know, they celebrated their birthdays this week. Hope you had a lovely time, guys and girls. You know, and looking forward to seeing you back in the office next week. Shout out to me mum. What I wanted to shout out about is she bought me these fingerless gloves for Christmas, and they have been fantastic because it's just been so cold in the garage. And I've been wearing them all week, and they're brilliant, yeah? And so thank you, Mum. Hi, Mum. Hope you're doing all right. So, yeah, enough of the chit-chat. Let's get on to the car stuff. See you in a bit. Bye! Right, my lovelies. So what I think I'll do is I'll just talk you through in order what I've done over the past 4 days on this whole interior sort of project I've been doing. So, we'll go back to the beginning. When you buy one of these kits, you get a parcel shelf. It comes in 2 sections, and it's basically a piece with a slope on the end, and it's made of fiberglass. And the idea is this part where you the rear screen is glued to. You put in a couple of brackets, like L brackets, to create a shelf, and then you put in this parcel shelf, and it comes to probably about here, and then slopes down and sits on the engine cover carpet. Now I did that on the grey one, and it's fine. You know, you cover them in carpet and it looks all good. But when you need to access the engine, you have to take them out because they sort of get in the way. Not that that's really much of a problem because they're in 2 pieces. They're a sort of slit down the middle. But on the white car and this one, what you got to realise is a lot of noise comes through this rear section of the car because it's not obviously built as a hardtop initially. So you've got, you know, road noise coming from the wheels, you've got the exhaust coming through here. So what I like to do is I like to make it as soundproof and sort of to block off a lot of that sort of excess noise as possible. And the other thing about it, the way I design these parcel shelves, it means that it can just be bolted and stay in place. You know, once the car's painted, this while it's away being painted, I will cover all these panels in carpet properly. Gets bolted in place, and you never have to move it, because I design it so you can still take off the engine cover carpet and, you know, get to the engine. So that's all good. Now, you may remember on a previous video that I did, what this thing actually sits on is some bracing. So I've got strips of metal that attach to this, right? So there's three or four, or maybe even 5, can't remember, and they get bolted to the rear sort of, I don't know what's that called, not bulkhead, a rear bulkhead or something. Anyway, so it gets bolted to the metal of the car, and then this parcel shelf sits on it, yeah? And then what I'll do, when I'm happy with everything, I will go in via the boot and I will attach this parcel shelf through those straps, and it's in place. I mean, to be honest with you, it's so wedged in anyway, probably don't even need to do that, but I will screw it in place once I'm good to go. So first thing I had to do was put in my C-pillar brackets, my C-pillar things that I've made. I had to modify them because of what I've done to the roof with old Kevin Kevlar here, because I have to make sure and design. You can see how it curves round there. Had to design the parcel shelf to meet with the C-pillar brackets. Now remember, these C-pillar brackets again are all going to be covered in that felt, and then the underneath of the kit here, just, you know, above my finger, you know, so if I was going like that, underneath I would also cover that in carpet. So that's just the inside of the fiberglass is carpet, C-pillar trim is carpet. When they're put in place together, they look like one piece. And then this, so you can see here, I've actually, on the C-pillar cover, I've actually simulated carpet on it, just so I can see how the wooden parcel shelf marries up with the C-pillar trim. So it's a bit of a painstaking process, because you have to basically build a template. So you saw on some of those time-lapse videos, it was the first one actually I did, part 1, you saw me gradually building a template out of cardboard. I sort of did it in 2 pieces, did the first half here, got the curve, this bit right, and then the second, then I sort of tape them together, and then I simulate it and make one big template, which is the final one, and then I cut it out. So what I initially did is I cut it, and it was just straight along here, right? So it ends here, and it was straight, but that came too far forward. So the idea of creating this angle bit here, because I want it to obviously end where the window gap starts, right? But I didn't want it coming all the way straight across, and plus it would start to hide some of the roll cage. So what I did, sort of took a gamble, got my protractor out, did a couple of angle cuts so it goes straight, then like that, and then straight again, right? And yeah, so now we've got this shape. This is the engine cover carpet. It's designed to just slide underneath here, so you don't even need to remove the panels when you take the carpet off. But yeah, so that's what I've done. So I've did the shelf first, then these screws here, you see, I've stuck in a strip of batten wood. Actually, it was quite thick, that goes under here, and that's what then these bits screws to. So you can see here, so the first thing I did, let me start a new thing. That's better, just had a glug of me coffee. Yeah, so the first thing I did is just this rectangle piece. Don't be fooled by this bit of carpet here, that's part of another piece that I'll go through. But yeah, so this is just a straightforward flat piece. It bolts to that batten I was talking about, 1, 2, 3, and then that's in place. And also there was some protruding bolts that were sticking out on the actual bulkhead underneath this. That was where the lock for the convertible roof was, right? So I took that out because I don't need it, just gets in the way. And what I did is then I screwed onto one of those bolts a long nut and then another bolt, And the idea is then this, because if this is screwed here, in theory, that piece of wood, if you put pressure on it, it could go like that. So what I've done is I've got something, hang on, I've got something that's about here where my finger is that sticks out, and then this just pushes up against it, so it'll always stay vertical. So that's good. Right, then the next bit was obviously creating, if I come in here, was creating this piece of section. I had to cut, you know, I had to make a template. You saw me do that. It took forever to go round the roll cage bar here. And then there's just another straight bit here. That's just attached with one screw, 2 screws there. Again, I've simulated what it would be like covered, because you need to account for the gaps that the carpet is. It's probably about 1 mm either side, and you get a nice sort of plush fit. And you can see here, that's where the partial shelf ends, and then this is the C-pillar trim, again simulated in carpet to see how it all fits together, and that's nice. So, done those 3 sections. I'd probably say that this and these side bits probably took a good 2 days work to get right. There's just lots of trial and error, as you saw on the time-lapse videos. If I come around this side of the car, talk about this particular one, this was a bit of a bugger, because this MDF I've got is probably about that thick, and the way these panels go straight down like that, there's parts of the Boxster, so like the suspension turrets, where the roll cage bolts to, protrudes, like there's part of the actual body, the chassis. So I had to thin out the back of these, right? Some of these are thinned out, so they're not as thick towards the bottom. But that doesn't matter, it's just there for sort of, you know, to cover things up. And for these sections, because I didn't have much carpet left, I've ordered loads more now, I didn't have much carpet left, I thought, well, on these little sections, I'll just cover them, like, you know, now, just to get the effect and see what it's like. And especially because this one's very thinned out at the bottom here, I didn't want to just put carpet around the edge of it to simulate it and then have to rip it off, because I might actually break the MDF because it's quite thin at the bottom. So that's ready to go. That's factory finished, that is. So both those 2 panels are. That one wasn't thinned out as much, so I've only simulated it around the edges. So that's that. So I'm really pleased how this has turned out. You know, I've got carpet around the edge here. This butts up to this. What I'll probably do is, you saw me take these screws out to sort of firm this up. What I'll probably do is just, you know, again, put some packers in here to stop this wobbling quite so much. And then, you know, when this is all covered and we're finally fitting it back up, before we stick the rear window in, what I do is I cover this part, just the lip of it, in carpet as well. And then if there's still a gap, which there will be, I get a thin piece of foam, a strip of foam, cover it in carpet and just wedge it in there, and it comes out like a little shelf like that, but it looks nice. It sort of finishes it up and hides all the gaps, and you know, just makes it look as factory as I can do. So what else? Let's start. I need another swig of coffee. So the next bit that I tackled, I obviously had to put the roll cage in at this point, because you know, it wasn't in place at that point. And in theory, if I want to take that parcel shelf out again, you have to take the roll cage out. And it's not like you need to completely take it out. It's you just need to unbolt the rear section. Another thing I should mention is, if you ever need to get to the suspension turrets, all you need to do is unscrew these 2 panels here, and of course this roll cage bolts to the top of them, 2 bolts out of the 3, and you can get to it. I mean, I've already changed the coilovers on here, so can't see it really. So so this has got coilovers on here. I just need to set the height when I need to, so I won't need to get to it, hopefully. Obviously I'm going to take this roll cage out. It has to have some welding done on it. I'm probably going to paint it a different colour. Well, I'm not sure about the yellow. I think I need it more of a yellowy yellow as opposed to a mustard yellow. But anyway, first world problems, eh? Sorry. So that's all good, so we can get to that. So the next thing I had to tackle was, of course, I put all the carpet back, and it's lovely when you start putting bits back because it starts to look like a real car again, even though I've got to take it all apart anyway. But I was thinking about what to do about these gaps, right? Because there's just a big, because you can imagine the Boxster roof used to sit in this whole section here, right, when it's folded down. So you've got some big gaps there. Now, what I've done on the white car is these are the sections that come with a kit. So you can imagine this goes on the inside there. So that goes up the B pillar and it just goes straight down like that. And that's what I did. I basically covered those in carpet on the white car and just glued it to the inside of this. But I'm doing something a bit different this time because, again, I want to try and get as much road noise out of the cabin as possible. So you saw on a couple of the other videos, oh, let me get in here. I basically made these wooden plates. Now, the idea of these plates, they're for, well, obviously it goes, because there's a big hollow on the other side of this, yeah, there's a big hollow with the kit and the rest of the Boxster, and I'm going to foam fill it. So the idea is I'm going to take this all out again when I'm ready to do it, because it's a messy job, and I'll cut some more holes in this, and I'll stick in my nozzle, and I'll foam fill it. So this whole section, and it's probably about that deep here behind this wood, will all be foam filled, yeah? Nothing there, you don't need to get to anything there, you know, once it's done. It's just a void. So I will do that, and the idea is this wood is designed to keep the foam in as it dries and it expands, and I very much expect, and I want it to come out the top here. Once it dries, I will then shape it so it's more of a curve or a straight, just to fill that gap, right? So that's the whole point of these wooden panels either side. And I was thinking about what to do, because look, if you look in here, look at this huge gap. Yeah, you could live in there. That's all open and hollow, and I was thinking about maybe putting some speakers in here, or having as a storage area, because the Cayman has like storage areas here. And the thing is, well, I don't know, what am I going to put in there? Cans of deodorant, just slide them in. A bottle of wine, I don't know. So what I might do, to be honest with you, is once this all goes back, I'm just going to put loads of insulation foam, you know, the felt, because the Boxster has a lot of it anyway. I'm trying to show you some, like this stuff here. You see that? It's just loose, and I can just pack that in there like that. It will be hidden, and it'll fill that void, and it should hopefully insulate things. I've got these wires here. I don't know what they do. I think that's part of the brakes or something. I don't know, actually. That can't be the brakes, but yeah, so you can see here, this is the air vent that feeds the air into the engine. So I don't want to make this permanently not accessible, but anyway, I digress. I'm talking too much. But you can see what I've now done is on these flat panels, I screwed another piece of batten to it. It goes all the way along there, you see, and then I made this shape. It looks a bit like a gun, but that basically sits on that and it hides all of this. And I've done it so it goes all the way around the back of the engine carpet there. And again, just 3 screws. Will all be covered in black felt, so you won't see any difference. And in theory, you can see how this engine carpet works. It tucks underneath it. So, oh look, it's coming up there. So the idea is when the boys have to work on the car, you know, you can still take this engine carpet off. It just pulls up like that, you see? And it's quite a thick carpet. Ah, here you go, look at this. Right, so now you can see how it tucks inside. So again, and these don't really move because this is bolted to the car, this wood, screwed with that big thick batten. And then also, what was I going to say? This is obviously screwed to that batten. This doesn't move. The foam will probably help stick it. But the idea is again, if they take the engine cover off, the carpet, I mean, that's fine. And when they put it back, just gonna have to slide it underneath. It doesn't move much. But yeah, it's all sort of snug as a bug in a rug. So that's that there. Now, God, I don't know what to talk about next. Let me go and have some coffee. Yeah, so back on this, so you can see what I've had to do, sort of make this sort of, well, I did this straight bit first, and then, you know, I've got it so it follows the angles of these vertical pieces, and it comes around here, and it just tucks down here. So it's like a gun, actually, the shape of it. And then because we've got like this gap here, you see on the other one here, you can see at the bottom, I've put more wood, and it sort of goes up at a slope. So that's like the handle of the gun, and that just sits there, and it's, again, it will slide, the engine cover carpet will slide underneath it. You don't need to remove these ever, although it is possible because they're just screwed with 3 screws there, 1, 2, 3, into the batten. It's very strong, it doesn't move. So yeah, so I'm pleased how that sort of turned out. So what I need to think about next is, what do I do with this bit, because this bit will be on show, and I've also got that bolt there, but you know, I can make that disappear if I want. Now what I probably will do is these things that come in the kit, what I'll do is I'll cut this bottom off here and basically have that as a panel, so just like this L-shaped along here, and I'll attach it to the inside, so it will go over here and it will cover up this wood again, and then it will go on the inside of the B pillar, right, where you see those 2 holes are for the windows. So that's what I'll probably do. And what I did on the white car is I actually stuck these in place first and then covered them whilst they were in situ, because then what I can do, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. So I'll stick them on here, and then I will cover the carpet. I'll put the carpet on them, and I can then, a bit like you can see how the carpet folds around here, I'll actually have the carpet come over here and actually finish on the other side. So when the window goes in, you don't see any of this fiberglass. It'll all be smoothed over, and you know, and it'll all be round here as well. I mean, and then at the top here you can see the C-pillar trim, again, that will be covered in carpet. So basically this whole quarter window will be lined with carpet all the way around the edge, and no one will ever know. So that's that. Right, so let's now talk about the roll cage. So the Boxster roll cage, it bolts to the bottom here as before, and it's got sort of 2 sets of legs. There is then it then bolts to 2 welded in bolts that are about this position here, right down on the floor, well, on the bottom of the car bit here, underneath here. So about, I don't know, 20 centimeters lower than my fingers are. So it's like got 2 legs, and as you know, if you look at pictures of them, then it's like it's 2 hoops and a bar that goes all the way across about this height, and 2 loops. It's actually obviously designed for a Boxster convertible roof, and not idiots like me, you convert them into other things. But it actually makes, so on the white car, it's actually, it gets in the way a lot of getting to the rear engine. But this roll cage is brilliant, as obviously, as you can see, it's got all the crisscross at the back, but the actual main loop, it's just one big loop, and we've got loads of sort of access area here. Anyway, so what I was going to say is explain to you about how the original Boxster cage was. The other point of the Boxster cage is the seat belts welded to the, it's got a little sort of bolt hole like this, a female sort of bolt hole there, and it's welded on the Boxster cage, and that's what the seatbelt is attached to. Now this roll cage is designed for a Cayman. Now on a Cayman, the actual, this part of the seatbelt is actually bolted to the metal, this B pillar here on the actual Cayman. So there is obviously no need to have anything welded on the actual cage if you're going to put one of these in a Cayman, but obviously I don't do things that are simple. I'm so happy that this roll cage is going to work on a Boxster, my project. So the other thing with the Boxster roll cage is the seatbelt mechanism, the reel, is bolted to it about this section here, right? It's bolted to the Boxster roll cage. And the other thing is this bolt hole on the Boxster roll cage is on the outside, not on the inside. Now, if you look at this roll cage, you can see it comes out a lot more here. On the Boxster one, this comes up probably more about where my hand is. So it can go on the outside. But I know I'm sort of going on a bit here, but long story short, I need to design the seat belts because I don't want to use a harness because, you know, it'd just be awkward because I will use this car every day as my daily driver. And the company that made the roll cage, they gave me this other solution. They've got these brackets that go underneath the bolts that protrude where you bolt the feet of the roll cage to, and it's designed that you can bolt the reel to it. Now, I could, but I don't really want to. I could try and fabricate something to bolt to this to have the reel sit inside here. I could, but I can't weld, and safety first, you know, these are seat belts. They're very important. So I am just going to go with this design here. You know, it's bolted to the solid part of the car, it's solid metal, etc, etc. There's a bolt hole there that will screw the reel in. Probably can't see that, no. Oh, I should have my light on, really. Put my light on. There we go. You can't really see it. Oh, there it is. Oh! There it is, right? Nice big bolt. And once the roll cage bolted in place, that won't move. So I've had to sort of think about how I'm going to do and hide this area here. So what I've done here is, because I can't weld, as I said before, I've got these threads that I'm going to get welded on, and I've simulated, I need to work out where to have it welded onto. So what I did is I've got a piece of metal, I screwed it in. This is an M12 bolt. Screwed it in there. It's a very short little bolt, and then I strapped it. And I'm really proud of myself here because it's actually proper solid. Yeah. So I'm going to be having to tweak where I exactly want it, and then get a friendly person to come round and actually weld this to that, and then I won't need it. It obviously has to go on the inside here because it wouldn't be able to go on the outside. That would be ridiculous. And I've been mucking around with it on that side as well. So the what I needed to do, the next challenge was the trim panel here, because obviously this roll cage pokes out and comes through at a different angle, so it's not going to fit. Now, here we go. So this is the trim panel that comes from the Boxster, and I've already started cutting it, but basically it used to come up all the way here and have sort of like a rubber sort of gasket there. Anyway, long story short, it's not going to fit, right? So what I've done is I started. Now, the funny thing is when I was doing all this and I was doing this side, I completely forgot about the seatbelt side of things. And I didn't even have this bracket on. So I've designed this so it would fit exactly how it did before. I just had to cut this away because the roll bar upright here got in the way. And I had it, so it attached to, I just screw the top of it to here. And then it was like, oh no, I've got to think about the seat belts. So, but anyway, no problem. The thing is I then put the seat belts in, and I did this, and I was like, oh right, yeah, I didn't expect to get this far in this week off. So, what I started doing on the other side is I started having to cut out this part. Now, the reason I did this, I did the driver's side first, and the reason why I then went and did the passenger side, because I blimmin' noticed that the tag on this trim panel is broken off, right? So this foot goes in that gap there, and then there is a slot in the car body where this tag would fit. So there's no point me carrying on doing this side and making it work around the seatbelt reel if the flipping thing's broken. So, I've ordered another one, right? So, but on the passenger side, the thing wasn't broken. So I started doing this side instead. So, I'm going to start another one, hang on. Right, so you can see, here's the bottom of the panel. And what I had to do is I had to cut out, if you can imagine where this box is, I had to cut out so the reel can protrude. And then it's like, well, okay, what do I do about this reel? Because I don't want it on show. So what I've done is I painstakingly, and you watch it on the part 3 video, the time-lapse one, you see me construct this box out of thin pieces of wood and MDF and all that sort of stuff. Chewing gum, pipe cleaners, the lot. And it fits over the reel. You can still, I can touch the reel underneath here, yeah? There's no point having a bottom on, because you remember this is one big trim piece. And it's all actually in place now because I've screwed it to the top there. But the idea is I will cover this in carpet. You won't be able to tell the difference. I'm going to have to recover all of this panel. This it looks like a boot, doesn't it, a bit? I'm going to have to recover all of that. But what I've done is I've just decided that I paid a lot of money for this roll cage, so I might as well show it off. I thought about making a cover that completely hid it up to here, but you know, what's the point? So it's going to work like this. So this is just thin plastic, and I've sort of built it round, and it sort of sticks. It's glued there. Excuse the carpet again, didn't have much, and I just wanted to simulate how it will work. And yeah, that's the idea. So the seat belt is now like that, and it's hidden. And I put the seat in. It touches the back of the seat, but again, you know, I have the seat quite far back, and it fits for me. So yeah, the idea is that's all in carpet, and you can't tell. And then this here will have the door seal. I've put it on that side. Should have done it for this video here, but I've got the door seal, and that will bridge that gap, and it all should look all right. And then, obviously, for the seat belt, what I've done, you can't see it, but in this gun-shaped thing, and I've got this notch to go around the bar, I cut out a slit, and basically the seat belt slides in there, and it goes up and down, and I've had to put a packer there to stop it trying to come out from that. Now, I was very pleased with myself, how it all come out, and you can see here I've got trying to work out where to have my thing welded to make it work. But I don't know about you, but probably one of the most frustrating things in life is the seat belt not retracting. Now, I don't know if you can make the spring a bit tighter, but the problem we have here is you can see there how it naturally, oops, oh, it won't go because it's locked, but you can see how that's coming out of the reel, yeah, dead straight up like that. And what we've got here is it's sort of going back a bit and then up through that slit. So because there's sort of obstruction in there, it's not going back. Now that's going to really annoy me. So what I'm thinking of now doing is changing this and just having it, because you've got to remember the reel is underneath here, right underneath this box. I might just have the strap coming, instead of coming behind this panel and out through this slit, I just might have it come straight up, you know. I'm thinking about getting red seat belts anyway, for the car. And if I'm going to pay all that money for red seat belts, you might as well see a lot of them. So I don't think it will be a problem or look out of place if I just have the belt coming up and down, yeah? Give it that more of a race car feel, I reckon, because I think this is going to annoy me. You know, and this is the passenger side. You can't expect the passengers to to wind it back in manually every time. So I don't think that will be a problem. I'll just have a slit here, or it'll just come through the top of this, and then hopefully that'll retract back on its own. So there you go. But, you know, I'm pleased how this has sort of turned out. Again, inside this hollow, there'd be all the insulation felt to keep it nice. And that's about it, really. I'm really pleased how it's turned out. You know, it's always one of the hardest bits to try and make look sort of factory, this part of the interior, because you are ripping a lot out, you know, because there used to be a roof there. But yeah, no, I'm really pleased with the progress. What I might do is I might wait for the driver's side of this panel to turn up, and then simulate the slit coming through here on that one first before I undo this. I mean, it's only a slit here. I can just fill that in with some wood, and it's all going to be covered in felt anyway. So yeah, that slot I've cut is no big deal. So yeah. And in terms of, you know, I was thinking about putting some speakers in here. I suppose that's quite, the thing is, speakers would be quite small, wouldn't they? I could put some lights in there, maybe, I don't know, some like LED lights that light up the interior. I don't know. I just feel that need to do something there while I can. But who knows? Maybe put a little TV in there, who knows? But yeah, that's it really. So there you go. Got a lot done over those 5 days. Back to work Monday. I could do more like today and tomorrow, but it is really tiring. You know, there's a lot of bending down, and I played ping pong twice this week already. So I'm taking it easy this weekend. You know, I'm doing my Lego. I'm really into Technic Lego at the moment, cars. I'm building the Ferrari SP3 at the moment. So, and it's huge, it's about that big. Fantastic. So I'll do that. Have a few beers, watch a football. Man United today playing in the FA Cup. So yeah, so that's what I'll be up to. Plenty more to do, but yeah, I hope you liked it. How many Michael Jackson songs did you get at the start? If you send me a message with the number and you get it right, I'll give you a shout out in the next video. Now there's an incentive. Anyway guys, take care, see you later, bye!